So my guy, if you keep being good to someone and you get paid with evil, what's your response to that? What are you going to do? That's a tough question. Let's see. Let's try. Um. Oh, hello. Here you are. Someone made a joke with me and said, "With this, I lock them out." I don't intend to lock anybody out, not you especially. I intend, in fact, to bring you in to say thank you for joining me once again today. The last time out, we did a little discussion on the reward structure of good and evil, and there were a few questions that were a result of that trailed that, and this particular one I intend to address some of the questions. Four questions came out of that, and one other one a general question that has to do with good and evil when it comes to the topic of good and evil as well. Number one question. It says, what happens when you do not do enough good or evil to reach that threshold point for the reward to come? What if the thief stops stealing just before his box is full? You know, when we say every day for the thief and one day for the owner. Now this question says, what if the thief stops stealing just before his box is full? In relation to the explanation we gave the last time out about how every good is stored and every evil is stored somewhere, and then it gets to a point, the time of reward, the time of recompense, that you get what you have done, you reap it and you get it back. And this question says, before the box is full, so to say, what if the thief stops stealing? Is he going to get the reward for the past evil, the evil he did halfway? Is he gonna get the reward? So let's look at that first of all. Whenever you do any good, whenever anyone does any good to anybody or for anybody, it's stored, it's somewhere. I say it does not dry off. When I compared it to a drop of water, it does not dry off, it does not go anywhere. It waits for a time when it matures enough. It waits for a time when it ripes. It ripes to a point where reward will be inevitable. It does not matter whether the reward comes now or not. It does not matter whether the reward follows after the action or not. Usually it does not. Usually, most times it does not follow after the action. It waits for a time. Sometimes you forget what you've done and then you come back to reap the fruits of that. One thing is sure, that reward for either good or evil is constant in life. It's constant. There's no running away from it. There's no escaping it. Even if you have a change of heart, even if you have a change of life, there is no running away from the fact that you once stored a seed somewhere, and it has to grow. It has to grow. It has to come back to you, and it can come in any form. It can come in whatever form. Sometimes, in very unique times, it will not come back to you as a person, the perpetrator of the evil. It will come back to someone who is very close to you, say your offspring, for example. In years to come, sometimes another generation gets the reward, gets to bear the brunt of what you've done, or gets to reap the fruit of what you have sown in time past. So as a thief, if you keep stealing and you stop stealing and you have a change of ways, a change of character, a change of heart, and then you just start being good, and you think, okay, that was then, the past is the past, and now we are in the present, nothing's going to happen. Well, I do not think nothing is going to happen. In fact, I think something is going to happen that you will not be there to witness it. Sometimes something is going to happen that you will not be the direct victim of it. People who do not know, who had no idea what you were into, people who had no idea when you were piling those things up to the halfway points, they would be the ones to be at the forefront of the reward when it comes. But there is a reward and it's coming. There is a reward and it's coming. It's coming. If there's one thing that I want everybody, including myself, to know and settle for a fact, it's that reward is constant. Reward is constant. Reward is constant. Reward will come. Reward will come. It may delay, but it will not deny. Delay is not denial. So what happens when you don't do enough good or evil to reach? Whether you do enough to reach, whether you do not do enough to reach, it will happen. It definitely will happen. So it's going nowhere. Number 2 question: how can the value of good be known if you keep being good but get paid with evil? How can the value of good be known if you keep being good but get paid with evil? Interesting. Now, this is a very common theme around amongst humans generally, where you are good to someone and you get repaid with evil. It's common. I mean, it's common. It's not alien. It's not new. It's not a novel concept. But what do you do in such situations? Based on the understanding that we have already, on the fundamental understanding of how the reward for good and evil comes, what the structure is, I don't think it's advisable to consider changing your ways or to consider not being good anymore to someone just because they are repaying you with evil. Now, what I think in fact is that intensifying your good to that one person who is repaying you with evil is advisable, in the sense that your reward is not coming from the person. Sometimes you wait for thank yous and acknowledgement, and it's fine, but I think it's vain. It's vain. It's not going to measure up to what you do, what you have done, or what you keep doing. What will thank you do? What will a thank you do? It's just a drop into an ocean, a drop of water into an ocean. It's not going to really change a lot of things. Maybe you think, okay, this person knows, is grateful, this person has a heart of gratitude, but that's not the reward you're looking for. The reward you're looking for is not coming from the person. So far you know it's not coming from the person, then it's not worth changing your ways. Now, there is wisdom to be applied here. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over if you do not feel good about it, if you don't feel good about the outcome of it. All right? You know the reward will come, definitely. The result is going to come sometime, maybe now, maybe later, maybe in the future. But if there is a particular person, or there are people who do not seem to acknowledge what you do for them, who do not seem to pay back positively, what do you do? Wisdom needs to, you need to introduce wisdom here, in the sense that you don't stop, you don't change yourself. Yourself is you. You are who you are, and you don't change who you are on the basis of what one person or two people or three people are doing to you, or are doing to your own, are doing to show their own color. When they show their color, it's not a representation of what everybody looks like. So you don't do that. You don't use that basis, that metric, to judge every other person. So you don't stop being good. Maybe you can stop being good to them, but not. I don't want to use the word stop being good, because if you are not good, then you are evil. You can't be in between. There's no in between, all right? There's no in between good and evil. And you can use every other word to look for, to represent good, to replace good. Synonyms: kind, nice, all of that. So if you're not kind, then you are unkind. If you're not nice, then you are harsh. You are, so you cannot stop being good to someone just because one person out of 1,000 or two people out of 100 have chosen to not appreciate, goodness, appreciate good works and all of that. So it's not worth stopping being good. So, but to them there is a limit. To them there is a measure. To them there is an extent you can get to, and then you have to apply wisdom and take a few steps back and channel the energy towards someone who appreciates what you do for them. The goal is to be who you are. The goal is to maintain your culture, you maintain your policy of being good to people. If one person does not appreciate it, move on to the next person who shows appreciation for it. If one person does not show you that, or does not give you the, does not know the value of what you do, of what you are doing, move on to the next person. In fact, move on to the next person who would show you that what you are doing, in fact, is well appreciated. So that's what I think you should do. Don't stop. There's no stopping. There's no stopping. There's no you get reward for everything, yeah. But would you rather have the reward for good or the reward for evil? Number 3 question: if you conceive the thoughts of stopping your good acts toward people, are you still good? If you conceive the thought of stopping your good acts towards people, are you still good? If you conceive the thought of stopping your good acts towards people, are you still good? One thing is this: it is not what people say that matter. It is not what people declare with their mouth that matters. It is what they do, the intent of their hearts, their actions. And actions are a product of thoughts. Actions are a product of what you think in your heart, what you think in your mind. So whatever you do on the outside is just you carrying out what you have on the inside. So if you nurse the thoughts of stopping your good acts towards people, well, you are still nursing the thoughts. Unless you carry it out, then you are not yet evil. Unless you manifest it, then you are not yet the bad person that people might want to think you are. So you are still good until you start doing the contrary, the opposite. Nursing the thought is a common thing. It's possible. It's okay. Sometimes you are pushed to the wall, you are pushed to the edge, and you just want to revenge, you want to avenge, you want to do something just so that people know that you said you are not small, or people know that you said you know what you are doing. You're not a fool. But as long as it stops at just nursing the thoughts, well, it's not all thoughts that you carry out. Of course not. It's not possible that you carry out all thoughts in your mind, in your heart. So if you have a thought of stopping what you do or what you are doing, the good thing you are doing, and it's just like saying, I steal from people, and I'm just thinking, let me stop. Does that make me good? I'm still thinking, but I'm still stealing. I'm still picking what's not mine. I'm still, pickpocketing. I'm thinking, okay, I think I should stop, but I have not stopped. Then I am not yet good. I'll be rewarded based on what I do, not based on what I think. The reward comes because of what you do, not what you think. So the thought is not yet the action. The thought has to graduate to become the action before the reward comes, or before your personality is particularly changed. Number 4. If you take things from people just for the sake of peace, can't the other party see it that way too? And what's stopping them? I come again. If you take things from people just for the sake of peace, can't the other party see it that way too? And what's stopping them? Oof. Can't the other party see it that way too? You can't make the other party see it. These things are relative. These things are personal. You know what you know. People know what they know. Everybody knows what they know. You don't make people see things from your own perspective. You cannot coerce people into seeing things just the way you see them. Alright, so if you are doing things just for peace to reign, the way we like to put it, for peace to reign, the other party may most likely not see it that way, because it is you seeing it that way. It is not the person. You don't judge what the person you don't judge what the person is seeing and reacting to based on what you are seeing and what you are doing. He's not seeing it the way you are seeing it, unless you have a sit down discussion, a sit down conversation, and say, look guy, this is what I'm trying to do. I just want peace to reign. It's not like I'm a fool. It's not, unless you discuss that way, nobody's going to see that you are just allowing peace to reign. And then, I mean, there are situations where the other person too is reasonable to a point and he understands what you're trying to do and says, okay, I think this guy does not want problem. I think he does not want problem. Let's just give him space, breathing space, and he may not see it that way, and he may see it that way. So what's stopping them from seeing it that way? You are not the same. We have minds of our own. We have reasonings of our own. Environmental factors, these things that affect the mind, social factors and all of that will definitely, differ. All these things we are not in sync. Usually we are not in sync. So, but if you find someone who sees it that way, then peace will reign. Peace will not, you will not even have to fight for peace. Conflict of interest, clashes of wills, all these things will not be in existence so much because you think alike. You think alike, and then they can see it from where you are seeing it from. They can look from the same lens that you're looking from. The last question. Can someone do good for selfish reasons? And are they still considered good? Can someone do good for selfish reasons? And are they still considered good? Doing good for selfish reasons is still doing good, but quoted, done out of a not so good motive, done from a not so good intention. Selfishness is selfishness. Selfishness is putting yourself first. And if I see someone who does good for selfish reasons, I don't particularly blame them, because isn't that all what we do? You know what? I think I have a lot to say concerning this, but I have exhausted a lot of time on this. There's more to this question, and I would like to address it specially, which means there's going to be a follow-up discussion just on this alone. Doing good for selfish reasons. What does it entail? Yeah, I remember once, doing a little study on this selfishness thing, and I discovered a whole lot, deep stuff, and that is what I would like to bring to you when I single this one out to make a conversation, another conversation, a unique conversation like this. So thank you for joining Imole on this one. The 4 questions have been well addressed, I want to believe, and if there are any other ones, you can drop it in the comment box. I appreciate you coming. Thank you. We'll see you next time. God bless you.